Welcome to Meme the Stream. We're doing the Corona-chan Outrage Edition. You see Berkeley, right? They put out this. Please recognize that experiencing any of these can be normal reactions, and that over the next few days or weeks, you may experience periods of anxiety, feeling helplessness, social withdrawal, difficulty concentrating, blah, 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 anger, xenophobia, fears about interacting with those who might be from Asia, and guilt about these feelings. They had to take it down because that's just a terrible thing to say.
They didn't hang a dozen N95 masks off of it?
It was taken down because it was supposedly racist instead of just good advice.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly, because of the xenophobia thing.
Say they're only xenophobic because of the coronavirus. It's giving the supremacists an excuse for their un-PC behavior.
It's apparently not the coronavirus that's giving people these fears, though. As this, what is it? Slate? Oh yeah, that's based. So this Slate article, the panic over Chinese people, doesn't come from the coronavirus. It's not from that. An older woman on her flight threw a fit because there was an Asian woman wearing a face mask. Casual acts of racism against Asians were spreading more quickly than the virus itself. So, of course, it'll go into the past up to like the 1800s, this article, right? About how racist people have been against Chinese people.
Answer is always racism.
And, of course, with that kind of attention, you're going to have, cancel culture, right? They're going to jump all over this. So, one guy, let's see, this guy, Peter Ackman, he's a reporter or something like that for these guys, right? He goes to his barber. Hopefully all I got today was a haircut, and post that selfie, right?
Oh, no.
He got fired. He's gone.
Of course he did.
Of course. Of course he deleted the tweet or whatever. Of course. That shit's gonna happen. I don't know. Do you guys think that there's something to this? Could have something to do with the diet and the way food is handled in China?
It's got everything to do with that. But you won't be able to say it because that's a true criticism and a valid criticism.
Because that's racist.
Have you gone in an Asian food place here in the States?
I've been in Asian markets.
The cooking area?
They're okay. Nothing compared to this shit that we're about to look at, that's for sure.
And on top of that,
Yeah,
they can't really say it's like racism towards the way they wash and stuff. It's more of a situational type of thing. Everybody's not like hating on Asians just because they hate Asians or something. It's like they're freaked out about a virus that could kill half
exactly.
the world.
Network show, right? So they're cleaning this up a bit for us, but you can still see how unsanitary things really are. There we go. We got some dog feet. This lady's selling rats. Here we go.
Yeah. I was like, what kind of fruit is this? It has a tail. Is it okay if we film your animals? They skewered the rat through its entire body, and it looks like they roasted it a bit. Yeah. It's like my grandpa's wrinkled neck.
That's disgusting right there. Like selling rats. They're burning off animal hair there. That's great. There's the bats.
Why is he roasting the wings? Take it home, huh?
Look at that block. So hygienic.
I do have a serious question. Do they ever worry about some animals being endangered?
What do you think he says?
No.
What?
Yeah, no, it's all good. That could never happen.
Yeah.
Oh, not yet. It's going to be fine.
It's fine, bro. No worries. That brings us around full circle to the outrage. From the usual sources, right? Here's a Vox article. The coronavirus exposes the history of racism and, quote, cleanliness. So if you want to be clean, that's racist, y'all.
Cleanliness is racist.
Yep. It's not next to godliness anymore. It's next to Hitler. While panic about a sudden deadly virus is to be expected, some fears, especially in North America and the West, some fears have been based on something other than health. The panic has exposed a deep-seated xenophobia, and with it, a symptom of its own has surfaced: hostility towards Asian people.
You should see how the Asian people are treating other Asian people in China right now when you try and walk into their village. They're not happy to see you.
Some believe racist stereotyping is normal, shows that the coronavirus isn't creating xenophobia out of nowhere. See, it's the same common thread. It's like, no, you guys were always racist. This coronavirus is just another example of how racist y'all can be. In the news, racism. So there's The Guardian, of course. This is an opinion piece, so we're not supposed to take it seriously, but as if we take anything that they say seriously at The Guardian.
But it's in The Guardian.
Stereotypes are spreading as quickly as the virus. On the bus, in the street, people have started treating us as if we're infected. I think they're treating like everybody like they could be infected. So here's her example, this writer. I think it's the writer's example. Who is this by? Sam Fan? On the bus to work last week, as I sat down, the man next to me immediately scrambled to gather his stuff and stood up, avoiding sitting next to me. On the train over the weekend, a group sat opposite me, chattering about their weekend plans. One of them seriously advised the rest, "I wouldn't go to Chinatown if I were you. They have that disease." Okay, and then everyone gasped in horror, and then you got up and went over there, called them a racist, and they all clapped, right? That's exactly what happened. As I made my way toward Chinatown in London, an elderly woman and her friend on escalators at Leicester Square, I think that is, underground station, were casually talking about how dangerous the area was now, and she complained that she was obliged to go there for a meeting. "At least I'm old. I have nothing left to lose," she laughed. Well, she got a sense of humor about it. It's a serious situation. I mean, this is what people do. These are all normal reactions, and this person is totally internalizing all of it. In light of current events, we East Asians in the UK are on high alert, paying close attention to how people interact with us. It's not their concern about public health that is problematic. Are you ready for it? But the stereotyping of all East Asians as a coronavirus risk. You bigots. This is just another example. But this is all The Guardian has to write about anymore. Just look, this is the next day. They published this in the Canada edition of The Guardian, or Canada byline of The Guardian the next day under news. It's not opinion, I don't think. No. It's news. America's. Canada's Chinese community faces racist abuse in wake of coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
Racist.
Who's even getting close enough to them that they can hear them?
Well, there's huge Asian populations in Toronto, right? Like you guys know because the poo chucker videos I did. There's a lot of Asians in Toronto. There's a lot of Asians out in Vancouver, I'm sure, too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a large population. So
Called Vancouver for a reason.
Vancouver. Nice. When Toronto resident Terry Chu tweeted, she and other Chinese mothers feared the inevitable wave of racism that would accompany the spread of coronavirus around the world, she didn't realize how visceral the reactions would be. My Twitter has just exploded. Oh my your poor Twitter, your poor mentions with vitriol since this morning, she said on Tuesday. But it's just part of the course. Growing up as a minority when you're not part of a dominant class. You're in Toronto. Let's get back on topic with the racism, because the Philadelphia Inquirer writer Bethany Ao, I don't know how to pronounce that, but Bethany here had to chip in her 2 cents. And just the amount of emotional labor is just on its face alarming. I didn't want to write about coronavirus and racism. Then I got harassed twice. Let me tell you all about it right here in my own personal platform. So she's riding her bike in traffic. How rude. I heard something that I'd never heard before in Philadelphia. You Chinese.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Because if somebody's going to be racist, they're not going to like drop on the fucking table right away.
A woman had wanted me to wait for her. So it was an old person, right, to reach the crosswalk before I entered the bike lane, and was furious that she didn't do that. In her anger, she chose to attack my ethnicity. She shouted what I was supposed to perceive as an insult so loudly that a UPS delivery man turned his head in surprise. That is like the most convoluted thought process I've ever heard of. I was caught off guard, but not shocked. What made me really sad, though, was how quickly I tried to shoulder the blame. Wow. The internalization this person is making is just unreal. Maybe I just should have waited for her to cross the street.
No.
You think you're on a bike, she's walking, you maybe should have just waited? Also, she was elderly. Maybe the coronavirus really scares her. Maybe she doesn't even think about the coronavirus. That's all you. But I knew that even if those things were true, there is never an excuse for making someone who simply looks or identifies differently from you feel as if they don't belong in this country, not even for a second.
That was get out of the country? Wow.
Well, I guess that's her reverse view of get out of the country. So, of course, she sent a tweet about the incident, mostly hoping that people who witnessed similar incidents would speak up. Oh, yeah, it's all about having this conversation. I had no plans to write about it until a man shouted, China! Where the fuck does she live in Philadelphia where people are just yelling Chinese and China?
China.